The final moments of life are no longer understood as a linear shutdown of brain function, but rather as a complex and dynamic process involving heightened neurophysiological activity. Recent studies have uncovered compelling evidence that the dying brain undergoes a transient surge of organized electrical activity. A seminal 2013 study by Borjigin et al. Demonstrated that following cardiac arrest in rats, gamma band oscillations not only persisted but intensified for up to 30 seconds, reaching levels even greater than those observed during waking consciousness. PNAS 2013. This phenomenon, often described as a terminal coherence burst, suggests a reconfiguration of neural dynamics that defies the conventional notion of passive biological decay. One of the most provocative hypotheses emerging from this line of inquiry posits that the endogenous release of N,N-dimethyltryptamine, DMT, may play a pivotal role in this terminal brain activity. Originally advanced by Rick Strassman in the early 2000s, the endogenous DMT hypothesis suggests that the pineal gland or other deep brain structures may release a burst of this powerful serotonergic compound under conditions of extreme physiological stress or imminent death. Strassman, G. Near-Death Studies, 2001. Though initially speculative, this theory has gained empirical support through the 2019 work of Dean et al., who demonstrated the presence of DMT and its synthesizing enzyme INMT in the rat brain, specifically in the pineal, hypothalamic, and choroid plexus tissues. Scientific Reports, 2019. DMT is a potent 5-HT2A receptor agonist, and its exogenous administration has been shown to induce rapid, profound alterations in conscious state, characterized by ego dissolution, fractal visual hallucinations, nonlinear time perception, and a sense of encounter with autonomous entities. From a systems neuroscience perspective, DMT appears to destabilize hierarchical brain networks, notably disrupting the default mode network DMN, which has been implicated in narrative self-processing and predictive coding. According to Carhart-Harris's entropic brain hypothesis, DMT induces a high-entropy brain state, one in which the brain temporarily relinquishes its structured priors, allowing for a reorganization of experience outside conventional sensory and cognitive boundaries. Front, Hune Neuroscience, 2014. Recent fMRI and EEG studies provide strong evidence for this. Timmerman et al. 2019 showed that intravenous DMT administration leads to a collapse of frontoparietal functional connectivity, along with increased activation in primary visual and medial temporal areas, reflecting a shift from exogenous to endogenously generated perception. PNAS 2019. This is not mere hallucination in the pejorative sense. Rather, it constitutes a neurophenomenological rupture in which the brain's representational hierarchy is reorganized through intrinsic dynamics. Critically, the phenomenology of high-dose DMT experiences shows remarkable convergence with near-death experiences, NDEs, including encounters with bright light, panoramic life review, ego transcendence, and entry into otherworldly realms. These reports also overlap with detailed descriptions found in Tibetan Buddhist texts, such as the Bardo Thodol, which outlines sequential stages of consciousness following physical death. In this context, DMT-induced visions may constitute a neuropharmacological analog of the Bardo state, not as metaphor, but as shared structural architecture between altered state perception and terminal consciousness. On a neurochemical level, DMT modulates limbic cortical circuits, engaging the amygdala, hippocampus, and insular cortex, regions involved in emotional integration, autobiographical memory, and interoceptive awareness. This constellation of activity is consistent with reports of life flashbacks or judgment-like assessments of self during the dying process. Furthermore, DMT's action on the claustrum, a region speculated to be involved in the unity of conscious perception, may explain the reported experiences of profound wholeness and cosmic integration. Taken together, these findings support a model in which DMT serves as a natural neuromodulator of consciousness at the threshold of death, enabling the generation of coherent, meaningful, and in some cases, spiritually transformative experiences in the absence of external sensory input. This reframes death not as the annihilation of awareness, but as a transition into a unique neurochemical and informational regime, potentially designed by evolution to preserve cognitive coherence and emotional resolution at life's end. This framework opens unprecedented avenues for research, not only into the molecular mechanisms of DMT, but also into scientific thanatology, terminal palliative care, ethical neurotechnology, and the neurotheological study of mystical states. DMT, far from being a recreational artifact, now emerges as a biological vector into the deepest structure of consciousness, positioning itself as a core substance in the scientific investigation of death, rebirth, and the neuroarchitecture of the transcendent.